well on the Pharah historically. Carter on the Sombra for Bermuda's defense, and Chain on the Winston. This time around, he is going to have a bit of backup with Shu now in the lineup on the Diva. Uprising Academy, I doubt Punk's going to be on this Genji. We're going to see some swaps here, likely to what they have been running all series long, which is the Sombra Winston Diva look. Scalar been here and there with both the Ana and the Moira. Moira this time around because Uprising Academy know that there is a Sombra on the field and want to make sure that their backline is going to be safe. This is actually a weakness that Bermuda has taken advantage of in the past, so Uprising Academy aren't worrying for nothing.
Uprising Academy, again, with that Moira, seems to be a very good counter to the Sombra on the other side. Very independent in ways that she can help herself if the Sombra is trying to get her out. But if she's hacked, it can be very difficult for her to get away. Uprising Academy going to go ahead and do a little bit of hopping with those monkeys, and Tinawa going to find himself on at the objective. They've already gotten one tick, so Bermuda needs to respond here, or else they're just going to continue giving free progress, and that's already 2 ticks with no picks coming in for Uprising Academy. Ultimate finally do get the D-Max, but Chain's gonna fall. That might be a little too late, even though they do take Punk out of the equation.
Oh, Punk, though, does fight back, gets Chain out of the fight, but with Ajax flying high, the res does come through, and that should signal Uprising Academy to back off here.
Oh, they're going to go ahead and invest the EMP. 4 members of Bermuda are going to be hacked. The D-Mech is there as well. They are unable to take the bird out from the ground this time around because they clip the wings, but you get hacked. Gets hacked one more time. Still has that rocket barrage. Hasn't had any cooldowns, but gets 3 picks anyway as Bermuda stabilized, even though Uprising Academy tried to throw pretty much everything at him.
Ultima Web, man, he's like, I'm not a falcon, I'm a penguin. I live on the ground. You can't take me down. Uprising Academy trying the mid-fight tempo EMP, not working out this time around, so they got to go at it with a fresh dive. Sans,
I like to say
he went for it. Yeah. Now they're going to try the rally.
Left, going to go ahead and use that rocket barrage. The coalescence not enough to take him out of the skies. The rocket barrage takes down 1.5. The D-Mech is huge for Bermuda, as the Diva's the only thing that can really keep this Pharah in check in the air. Uprising Academy already losing so much time, down to 1:45.
They only need another tick, so one more good push should do it for them, but they've been stymied at every single attack, and that's a little bit worrying for Uprising Academy. We pointed out the really succinct dives in the past, and we haven't seen that so far here on Nimbani. And now they have to worry about not only the Primal, but the Diva Bomb, which could sow a lot of disruption in their backline. Scalar in particular is very vulnerable.
Tinawa's going to go ahead and try to dive into the back line, but Carter going to find his counterpart here. Not having a fun day on the Sombra so far. Really nice lead right after the Primal gets casted, so that's max value taken away from that Primal Rage. He is going to get a little bit of it, but Chain's going to find a little bit more as he's going to do a little bit of Ana juggling. Not enough crouching in my opinion, but Bermuda, you come out on top once more with 53 seconds remaining for UA.
He already did leg Dave, and look how Bermuda isolate the backline. That is one of the weaknesses of Uprising Academy's composition, and once Chain knows he's in the clear, that the rest of his team can hold down the fort without him, what does he do but Primal Scalar straight back to respawn. And now Uprising Academy again have an opener with Punk's Diva Bomb, and this could finally be the key for Uprising Academy to fell the Bird of Prey, Ultima Web, and Ajax, because so far they haven't found any traction.
Chain gonna get the nano. He's already jumping into the back line. You got Ultima Web in the sky as well. It's gonna get EMP, but here a little slow on the trigger. Needed to get to the EMP as well. Self-destruct though does finally take Ultima Web out of this game. Uprising Academy still have those 5 members, but the res on Bermuda means that there is gonna be another Bird of Prey in the sky, but Uprising Academy seems to be winning this out with their more valuable picks. You got Pizza and Carter back in spawn, and Tinawa should be able to deal with everyone else. Uprising Academy, once again in the nick of time, do find themselves the point, but they're making it hard for themselves.
Yeah, this seems like a repeat of history of the first point attack on Anubis. Uprising Academy barely eking out that win in the very last seconds, and how they did it was by isolating a single target on Bermuda. A lot of times when you come up against a pharmacy, the question is always, do we focus on the sky or do we focus on the ground game? And Uprising Academy didn't seem like they could really decide on which way to go. Rather, each time they engaged, just opportunistically looking to see if they could find a kill here. If Bermuda might just accidentally die. This time around, they focused down Ultima Web, and that's what got them to the point. So hopefully they can continue continue that same focus as we head into street space because Ultima Web's still flying high.
Continuing on the fair on a street space. I like the moxie that Bermuda is trying to come out of here with. The rock barrage is so very close, and Shane's going to jump into the back line. He's going to use the primal because he has to save himself, but now the discord has been brought. He's going to have to go back to his team. Nice biotic grenade, but he's low on HP. The support all has to be on him, but there's a little bit more monkey business going around of Uprising Academy as T-Lock going to find that pick onto the Sombra, and Ultima Web's going to get hacked with 11 HP. Someone should be able to chase this kill. Still hacked, but no. The Fair is going to continue to live, and with some good displacement, saves his team as well, but they do lose the point.
Bermuda, though, will have 3 members alive to try and hold Uprising Academy back. For now, they can't get too much snowballing progress, and Carter's EMP might just stop them cold in their tracks. But that's the kind of momentum-based play between T2Watt and Punk that Uprising Academy have been thriving on.
Ultima Web going to use that EMP to combo with the Rocket Barrage, finds 3 more kills. We said earlier on today, this guy's got a good Pharah, and I think he just needs his friends to help him out just a little bit more. And something that we're noticing a lot when it comes to these Sombras is they're no longer using that translocator to initiate with EMP. It's such an easy tell for them to get slept, to get stunned out. And so now they're trying to be a little bit safe or use EMP in a different way, and now we're seeing why that's so much more effective.
Yeah, the surprise factor is huge with Sombras. So Uprising Academy now have the opportunity with Mira's EMP to take Bermuda off guard, but they can't lose a member on their engagement. Scalar has been a favorite target of Bermuda so far, as we see the deep dive come in.
Yeah, Chain gonna get stunned, and he's gonna have to use the Primal as well. Already has gotten the Nano from his Ana. He doesn't even have to try to get back up to that once more, but I think all of the attention that's being given to Chain on the ground means that Ultima Web is free to raid rockets from above, and Chain is still alive, so even though Chain was so aggressive on this monkey, there was no follow-up from Uprising Academy. The tension was split there.
Yeah, they didn't manage to finish him off. We've seen Winston's stunned out and taken down very quickly when they dive deep. Uprising Academy not able to do that same, and T2Watt takes so much damage every time he comes in.
Yeah, Mir going to go ahead and translocate up high. He is going to be able to take down Ultima Web. The hacks were of 3. Chain and Shu were the other ones. T2Watt now going to get hacked himself. He's not going to be able to primal. He's not available. Punk, though, getting a nice self-destruct kill onto the Mercy means that there might be a little bit more space than Uprising Academy expected, having come into the final stages here of the bot.
I wonder if this is a time for Uprising Academy to rethink how they're engaging. They take so much damage, both Punk and T2Watt, every time they engage. That puts a lot of pressure on Scalar, and they're not really able to aggress as quickly as they might want. And now Ultima Web has yet another barrage. If Punk can be baited into using that Matrix early, it's gonna be free.
T2Watt gonna find that initial pick, and the Rocket Barrage is also there. No one is on the payload. Round 1 is complete. Uprising Academy finished Navani. How do you feel about that, HamTornado?
Yeah, remember when I said when Bermuda's on their game, they're hot and unstoppable, and when they're not, people just walk through them? Yeah, we're going to add forgetting the objective to the list of Bermuda not looking so hot. That's just, man, when everything was going so well for Bermuda, they just, I mean, this is just an instance of maybe too many resources going Ultima Web's way that they forgot to keep a toe in the cart.
Sometimes you just expect it to be contested,
to
right?
happen.
That like, Ham, you're going to be on the payload, right? And then you think I'm going to be on the payload, but instead we're both on the Pharah trying to take her out of the air. It was really good. It was funny because Bermuda, it seemed like the momentum was getting a little bit back on their side, that the stabilization might have happened, but Uprising Academy are able to push them all off the payload. The Rocket Barrage, I think, takes a lot of attention away from the payload from both teams. The Uprising Academy in a better position as the attacking team anyway to finish out the map. Bermuda now going to have to look at a 12-second time bank, which could be the difference between not having time, right? That type of stall.
Yeah, Bermuda had 8 seconds on Anubis, and they won that map. So, certainly possible for Uprising Academy to make lemonade out of these lemons that have been gifted to them free, just dropped right on their doorstep by Bermuda. T2Watt, though, I know I've been giving him a bit of a hard time. Last week was because every time he got Nano, he would just shield because the Nano was to save him and not because they wanted him to go in. This time around, he seems to be making very, very deep dives. And sometimes that works out well for Uprising Academy, but other times, just like in that last fight, Scalar throws the nano onto Tidawat. That seemed like a planned engagement, but then he simply gets barraged in the boot by Ultima Weapon, goes down anyways. And sometimes you can afford to lose your main tank as, just part of the playing process, same with Vancouver Titans. Other times, yo, man, what you doing?
What are you doing, my friend, Tidawat? In that situation, you kind of just stood there and took the damage. Maybe the hop wasn't available. He may have been hacked, but Punk's hacked right now. And they actually got a couple picks. So Uprising Academy using their monkey as a little bit of a distractor, right? Which gives them an opportunity to take advantage of everyone trying to focus down Tidawat onto the objective. So that's a little bit of a gift to Uprising Academy in terms of their defense, that's for sure.
They have, though, given up 2 ticks, so that's not something that they can afford every single engagement. Shu getting found out here. Not too worried, though, a cheeky wave, because Bermuda are simply banking up their ultimates. They've been extremely successful with every type of EMP combo so far, and Shu has been beating Mirror in that charge.
He's very far ahead of Mirror right now. Mirror's been a slow go of it when it comes to his EMP in the last 2 maps, as Shane is going to try to tickle some people away. The EMP does go through. Klaus, Mirror, and Tidawat are going to be the ones tagged, and Tidawat also going to get slept. Scalar having to use the nano onto Tidawat, who's also bioed, but I think this is a situation where all of that enabling works out in the end for Uprising Academy. When you try to take Tidawat down like that, you put the sleep into him, he gets EMP'd, and he does not die. Uprising Academy will have the opportunity to stabilize once those cooldowns come back, but as of right now, they've actually lost some members. Bermuda own the objective for the time being, but no, Swimmer getting that pick onto the Tracer, frees it up, as Bermuda are going to have to try once more, but these spawns are pretty friendly to Bermuda, and that pick onto Swimmer could be disastrous for Uprising Academy.
Uprising Academy ended up trying to hold everything back with just 2 supports on the point, and now they've lost one. However, Chain is hacked, getting taken extremely low, but it's Tidawat who falls first once again.
The Rockets are going to do their work into the backline. Swimmer is back just in time. Klaus is so very low. The Boop is going to save his friend. The Tickle Cannon not going to be able to finish off Klaus, and Punk going to get Ultimate Whip out of the sky somehow, as Uprising Academy and Bermuda are locked in a bullfight right now into this objective. But with that kill onto Chain, Bermuda is missing a lot of their meat to try to stay onto the objective proper. Uprising Academy do have a little bit of an advantage. The way that their spawns came back helped as well, but man, they're living on the edge of their seat. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, every single time Uprising Academy looked like they might be able to take a breath, Carter zips in, Shu zips in and takes an early kill. And it's really interesting that Punk is on this Zarya as well, which means that Uprising Academy really prioritizing damage right now. And Punk has been the one on his team to pick up those kills, to pick up the slack when Tidawat dies early, when Mirror might die early and bring things back, but you can't just expect that your player is going to be able to do that every single time.
Huge Translocator has been destroyed. You have to use that in another type of situation, probably after this EMP. EMP goes through, only 2 members are going to get hacked. Swimmer's there with the Ochre Shield anyway, as Tidawat going to be throwing some fists. Justin's raining from above, only onto Punk, who's the only one who falls from the rocket barrage, as Uprising Academy having a stalwart defense so far.
This time around, you see how much focus they were putting on Tidawat that they ended up forgetting about Punk and everybody else on the Uprising Academy team. This is going to be Bermuda's last shot. Chain needs to find some money with this Primal Rage. Scalar has been a great target in the past, but it's about isolating that Ana.
One Sombra has EMP and one does not. Uprising Academy going to use theirs, and it's going to hack 3. She's one of the members who are hacked, and Bermuda losing 2 members already. This is looking so very bad for Bermuda. It's very much likely that they don't finish this point. They get held on the first point. Uprising Academy take the W here on Nambani, move up 2-1, going into our last map, which is Escort, which is very interesting, actually, with both of these teams. By far, both of these teams' worst map types throughout the season.
I think Bermuda has like 27% win on Escort. Uprising Academy has like 22%. So it's really anybody's game. We could very well be going to a map 5 with the way that these teams have been playing. Bermuda yoinking things back when it seemed like Uprising Academy had them beat, but in the end just not able to overcome the last tiny little lip of resistance. Uprising Academy, I mean, we've talked a lot about this team's improvements over the season, swapping up their coaching staff, bringing in some new, fresh blood, and the team has looked great given their historical performance, but there are so many of these small moments exemplified here on Nimbani where it seems that the team wasn't really playing as a full 6-man squad, but rather taking 6 1v1s. Each one of them needing a ton of healing, needing a lot of resources, and kind of just stretching their backline a little bit too thin.
Well, and the other thing about Uprising Academy moving forward onto the season, yes, they've taken down Skyfoxes already, but a team like Atlanta Academy are not going to fall victim to the same types of mistakes that Bermuda are one, allowing Uprising Academy to make and making themselves. Against a higher caliber team, Uprising Academy might be struggling a little bit more on the basis that their ultimate generation outside of Punk really has been pretty slow. Mirror's not had the best day on Sombra so far. Uprising Academy definitely not playing, I think, as cleanly as they did last week, but their reprieve here is that Bermuda also struggling with the same types of issues that they have all season as well as during this game.
Yeah, Uprising Academy are catching a bit of a lucky break in this matchup so far, but while we've been a bit hard on both of these teams, I think there are still many great players and many great plays to point out. In particular, Ultimo Weps, seeing it here, getting hacked. Well, not one of his brightest moments, but you just take a look at the rest of the tape. He was really reigning supreme on this far and forcing Uprising Academy to essentially change their playstyle to deal with him, or not. And when they didn't, he ended up getting those kinds of barrages and those kinds of kills. On Uprising Academy's side, Punk, man, we've been talking about this guy a lot, but he still deserves yet another call out when his team most needs a kill, when his team most needs some peel. He always seems to be the guy that's just there. He's clairvoyant, already knows what needs to be done before somebody even calls for it.
Uprising Academy, you know, the other thing about it is I think Carter has been playing a better Sombra than Mirror as well, but this is the difference between like that super team-oriented play rather than playmaking potential. I think Carter's got a ton of playmaking potential just in general, right? The Tracer was almost that actually in this situation, and the Tracer was very, very strong, but in the end, I think Uprising Academy just knowing how to work around that team-oriented cooldown like an EMP is, rather than, I think, Carter going in and EMPing and just trying to get a kill, I think Uprising Academy is definitely doing it a little bit more methodically. Yeah,
they have a little bit more of that foundational play that you look for in Overwatch. Very team-based, though Carter's Tracer definitely amazing. I mean, his Widowmaker was that carry hero on Anubis. So Bermuda just need to make sure that everybody's getting a small share of the glory, that they're communicating, talking to each other, because it is definitely not over for this squad at all.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bermuda, Chain having a pretty quiet day, Shu having a pretty quiet day as well, and Bermuda with their DPS, when Ultimo Web's doing well, Carter's a little quiet. When Carter's doing well, Ultimo Web's a little quiet. And again, they just got to be a little bit more consistent on trying to pop off at the same time. Yeah, you can compensate when someone else isn't performing as well as you, but in the end, in a game like this, they just overall need more production from almost everybody on that team. It can't all just be left up to the Carters of the world. And so now looking over at Havana, neither team has won on this map yet this season. So we're going to see some history here between these two teams.
Yeah.
As both of them looking at their first Havana W.
Week 5 history being made here in North American Contenders Season 2 2019.
That is what we are.
That is what we are. And what's kind of most hilarious as you were talking about Bermuda and the individual carry and needing that consistency, some of those same things can be applied to Uprising Academy.
Yeah.
I think that what we saw in Nubani is that, just like you said, both of them have a lot of the same strengths and a lot of the same weaknesses, and it seems to just depend on how the wind's blowing as to which team is going to figure out the other's plan of attack. And Mirror is going to try and do just that for Uprising Academy here on this Sombra already. Bermuda actually not. If Guru takes this Bastion, we're definitely going to see an Orisa here.
I like the switch for, I believe, Shu's out now for Guru. Guru tends to... he's someone who can bring, I think, a team around him and really focus Bermuda. They tend to do really well when Guru is in at the roster. I think he's a very valuable member of the team, but in terms of leadership, in terms of role, I think Guru contributes more in the intangible side of things for Bermuda, as Carter and Ultimate going to find some initial picks. How long is Guru going to be on at this Bastion? Well, not much longer, as Punk going to take him down, but they do have an opportunity to get onto the payload with this Bastion if they so choose.
They definitely have this opening now, and Ajax going to decide to res Pizza Demon, so we might see a swap coming through. This is really, really interesting. We rarely ever see naked Bastions being run on linear maps like Hybrid and Escort, but it looks like that's actually what Bermuda are going to do. Maybe trying to take advantage of Uprising Academy's inability to focus down on a single target that we saw in Numbani. Do we pick the ground game? Do we pick the Farah? And now they have an even tougher time. Pizza Scalar, they're going to take that decision out of their hands for now with a great sleep.
Yikes. That is a yikes. But I wonder if Bermuda are looking for Uprising Academy to try to use their cooldowns all on the Bastion, which allows the rest of Bermuda to do just this, which is take advantage of that aggression onto the Bastion. You can definitely tunnel on someone like the President, good old Bastion, and that's exactly what I think Uprising Academy just did. Bermuda gonna take this in the end, and Ultimate Web is a big reason why.
That clinical cleanup. Great stuff from Bermuda. Divide and conquer, distract and destroy. They're really playing this very well, and Uprising Academy are kind of just going back to the basics.
Man,
we're just gonna run this goats, I suppose. Reinhardt is generally not a super hot hero to run into a Bastion. You're gonna get demolished before you can really close the distance, unless your Ana can set up a 6 sleep like that. So that's not something that you can always guarantee it, but now Uprising Academy kind of locked into this because of the ultimates coming online and just lack of time.
Bermuda now running with Ajax now. Looks like the Bastion would have worked better with Ajax on the Batiste, but they decide to take the Bastion out, and instead they have the Mei and the Torb. No hook though here, as it's going to be a 5v5, one hit going both ways. Change using that Primal Rage is going to get CC'd. He's totally cool with those cooldowns going on him and not his team. T-Watt is trapped in a corner. He's going to get the nano. He's going to go ahead and charge. I love seeing that from him. Punk going to find the turret. Will T-Watt find anything else? The Immortality Field's going to make it a little bit harder as T-Watt gets slowed because of the spray of the endothermic blasters from Guru. He's also going to be hacked along with 3 other friends on his team. Bermuda in this long drawn out phase at the beginning of Distillery here finally find themselves on top. The self-healing is there. The healing from Ajax and Pizza Demon was there. The Immortality Field definitely helps, but not for much longer. Swimmer, Klaus, and Punk all doing some work for UA right now.
This is the exact 3-man squad that was holding single-handedly or 3-handedly holding down that Numbani point, and now they got to do it once again as Bermuda are absolutely swarming them, taking advantage of this high ground, and T-Watt has really done nothing except hold the shield the entire time and work as an ult bank for Bermuda.
This is Shade making some noise. He's going to join his team. He's going to bully T-Watt a little bit more. If that Biotic Grenade didn't hit his friend, T-Watt would be dead right now. A bunch of people on Uprising Academy also are hacked, and this fight I feel like has been going on for the last minute, and Uprising Academy are now finding themselves on top in terms of that numbers advantage, and Shade's going to get slept and then woken up with the nano. You don't want to do that. Bermuda's gonna get that return kill.
Bermuda right now, they're trying to focus down the backline supports, but they weren't expecting for the grab to come in. Punk once again keeping Uprising Academy alive, but he can't do it alone. T-Watt nowhere near the rest of his team, getting taken down by this Torb, and Punk now getting aggressed upon his team, rushing to try and help him.
As of right now, we've been in Distillery for what feels like forever with one fight the whole time, and we're only halfway through it so far. So Immortality Field is going to give Ajax a little bit of a reprieve, but instead he is going to fall as Uprising Academy finally take the payload.
That was something of a slop fest from both teams. Bermuda playing keep away very well, using this high ground, putting their backline on opposing catwalks, so Uprising Academy kind of spinning in a circle trying to find any actual kills. They have so much tanking ability, they can stay alive for a really long time, but finding kills has been their difficulty.
Immortality Field comes just in time for Bermuda. Look how low everyone on that team currently is, and Uprising Academy unable to deal with the Immortality Field. Because of that, they have to cede a little bit of space. Even though Mira gets that initial pick, T-Bot, nice charge, giving Uprising Academy another opportunity to stabilize on this defense. That they do.
There we go, a much more coordinated defense from Uprising Academy. Worth noting that Punk is on the Zarya, Mirror's picking up the Diva duties this time around, so a little bit of role swap for the Uprising squad. But Bermuda, despite how long they hung in there in the front doors of Distillery, now staring down the barrel of just 47 seconds. Ultima Web now picking up the Bastion once again, but you need a bit of setup here. In Uprising Academy, they're not going to be surprised, but they're going to get hacked.
That's what you call a setup, my friends. The EMP going to hit 5 members of Uprising Academy. The Maywall also going to cause them to flank around a different direction, which gives the rest an opportunity to put down a better shield. That's why these Maywalls are so very important. We're only going to get the Immortality Field, which saves a lot of Bermuda, but is it enough? It doesn't look like it will be, as Uprising Academy stabilizing here on the defensive side. Punk does go down, but Uprising Academy still have a little bit of a numbers advantage. They're going to go ahead and let Bermuda play with the payload just a little while longer as they're waiting for Punk to come back. It's not important to stop the payload here. It's very important to stop the payload right before they get that second point, giving them that win condition. Uprising Academy now have a Graviton Surge. The Blizzard's going to go beneath the payload, which should give a little bit of free progress. The Graviton Surge is also there, but the follow-up damage is not. But on the top side, there are a lot of Bermuda getting very, very low, and they finally do take them down. Uprising Academy should stabilize here unless all things go wrong for them, and it's not looking like it will. Uprising Academy will be stopping them before the second point. Bermuda know what they have to do in order to bring this to a map 5, and I think, Ham, we're seeing why both of these teams have struggled on this map type.
just a little bit. Nobody has really heard of the phrase "coffee is for closers only" because neither team really seems to be able to close any fight. Bermuda and Uprising Academy coming at it with such different tactics, and neither one really getting the upper hand at any point during what literally a 2-minute long brawl.
They're just idea people.
It's an art, not a science.
It's a skill. Having ideas is definitely a skill, but you gotta make those ideas a reality, right?
I think the good news, though, for
having ideas is a skill.
It is a skill. Yeah. Creativity. That's what they said I had when I was in 3rd grade. You're very creative, HamTornado. Uprising Academy, though, the good news is that once they finally did stabilize, once they finally were able to make a fight on their own terms, they played that on a goats very well. Even with Mirror on Diva, even with Punk on Zarya, both off heroes for those players, Bermuda wasn't able to get that Bastion setup going. And there was a moment of concern when Uprising Academy still had a couple members left. As you said, Bermuda was slowly making some progress through Distillery. It seemed like once that Bastion got set up, that Uprising Academy might fall once again, but they piece by piece dismantled that Bastion setup, used the ultimates that they needed, focused straight down on that Omnic rather than here, there, opportunistically trying to look for picks. So it bodes well for having a coordinated attack.
The Bastion, I think, also set up a little too early. I think if he walked just forward a little bit more to get a better line of sight, the hacks were coming in, and it was a big EMP, but hey, that was last round. Now we're looking at Uprising Academy's attack, and Cloud's going to be on Bastion himself. This time around, a little bit more traditional to have the Bastion with the characters around him, as Mirror is going to be on the Orisa. Titawat going to be on the Reinhardt, so this double main tank to keep that Kinder Egg very, very nice and tight for Klaus. They're going to get those initial picks. They should be able to get on this payload if they deal with this rocket barrage, and that they do.
They do. This double main tank look with the Bastion sandwiched in between the safety egg, as my friend Leg Day might call it. First coined on Junkertown back when we saw Bastions all day long. So super, super stable, very, very tanky, tons of shielding to go around, but barely any mobility and an extremely obvious target. So Bermuda, it's not about how do we get to this Bastion, it's about when and who are we willing to sacrifice. They do have Guru on this Mei, though. Excellent, exactly for this. Boost him up above the shielding, but unfortunately with not a ton of long-range damage, this Bastion's still alive.
He also got the Nano as well, so it's a nice defensive ultimate for the Bastion. He's just going to shoot through this Mei wall. It's only going to help them die a little slower as Uprising Academy are approaching this point, and the momentum's definitely on their side.
Very much on their side. There's no Roadhog on Bermuda's defense, so the Oink and Yoink not available. So even if Guru does get one of those very well-placed walls, the follow-up is what Bermuda is going to struggle with, especially now that Klaus has tank mode available, Supercharger, Bomb, and Earth Shatter all online for Uprising Academy. Bermuda, even if they get this Blizzard in time, it's not just about winning one fight. They gotta win much more. Still have to wear 4 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock.
And Uprising Academy have the ability to stagger with shields. They're getting damage, and so now the Arista Shield's going to be first. The Maywall comes right back up, and now you see Tinawa getting up in the front, but Carter getting the initial pick. Beer is sleeping right now. They need him to wake up in order to get another shield up there. The Maywall actually saving some members of Uprising Academy as Klaus is going to get that nano, and Klaus, our South American representative, is going to get a little help from his Reinhardt as well, who's going to get the pin. Pickups for Uprising Academy from here on out. Are they going to make enough distance to finish off the map?
And Klaus, actually, I like this placement as well. Not going to be as obvious, not standing on the payload, just providing a bit of Overwatch, actual military term, covering Uprising Academy as they try and push this forward with their tanks alone.
Ultimate Web trying his best to run interference on this Bastion, but as of right now, there isn't anyone on the payload for Bermuda. The Lucio instead trying to work with the Bastion on the high ground as Bermuda fall to Uprising Academy 3-1. And that's unfortunate for Bermuda because they have yet to take a victory this season of the Contenders. And this most likely, things can be very different in 2 weeks when we have our final standings, but things are looking a little grim for Bermuda in terms of being relegated.
Yeah, it's not a very easy schedule for them in the coming weeks either. So still, though, I would say this Bermuda squad showing more and more signs of life, and it's not about winning every single fight, but if you did better than last time, I still count that as a win in my heart.
You are the eternal optimist.
I am an eternal optimist.
HamTornado, but that's going to be it for our first game as Uprising Academy take down Bermuda. And now we're going to move on to our first place matchup. We've got Atlanta Academy. We've got Grunto Esports, both undefeated. One trying to go for the golden season. That's Atlanta Academy. And one trying to be the underdog of all time. The usurper, as you said, and try to take down Atlanta Academy and their golden season. And that's happening after the break.